Welcome to Resourced and Resourceful Leadership, a podcast for people who care about the world and their impact in it. I'm Dr. Christine Pettit, and I'm so grateful that you're here and listening in today. Did you notice that I'm trying out some intro and outro music for the show? What do you think? I hired someone from Fiverr to make it for me. I had never heard of Fiverr before, but through some internet searches, I was pointed in that direction, and it ended up being very fruitful. So this is the person's second go of it from the direction that I provided, and I like it. It got the stamp of approval from my daughter, so I'm thinking maybe we'll keep it. Did it get your attention? Do you like the vibe? I'm curious, so please let me know. Today's episode, it's a continuation of the series related to my coaching journey and right now receiving coaching. So I had a coaching session on Monday and I brought some feelings or thoughts popping up that don't feel in alignment with my values around collaboration and my belief that there is enough for everyone. Enough work, enough space, enough resources. So I was noticing some places where feelings of jealousy or competition were popping up for me. I'm not going to go into the particular situations right now, but just to say that I've been experiencing these feelings around jealousy and competition and thoughts that don't really align, again, with my values and my beliefs. And you might be saying, well, how can that be? But I've talked about in previous episodes, one, I'm human, and these feelings, even though they feel very shameful to me, to be honest, they're human. What I know is that they emerged for a good reason, but I also know, as I've discussed in episodes where I've talked about parts work, that is not a part of me that I want running the show. It's not the part that I want to make decisions about how I work with people or how I show up in business. So I brought my issue to coaching and I just wanted to understand this part better. So it was really helpful to give that part some space. And it was really hard for me. I really have a ton of shame around it. And so that part that was judging me for feeling that way and the part that really carries the shame around it just kept getting in the way of me really exploring this jealous part better. But eventually I was able to get there, and it was hard. Like literally I got sick to my stomach at one point, and I love my coach who I've talked about doing. And he was like, if you don't want to continue, you don't have to. And that's the important thing, is like, you're always at choice in coaching of how far you go. But I was like, no, I can do this. And looking at that part brought up for me times where it brought up a time where I had been labeled by a friend who eventually our friendship dissolved, really because she chose for that to happen. She did the fade away. But at one point she told me that she thought I was very competitive, and she cited an example of a volleyball game that we played in a backyard party in grad school. This was many years ago. And I will say competitive is not a label that I identified with at all, and especially not when it comes to sports. So I was really taken aback by that label. And when I think about how I showed up in that game, it was really from this place of I just want to be decent and not let my team down. But I guess the way I behaved, and I don't know what it was, we didn't really talk specific behaviors, but it wasn't like I was like jumping up and spiking the ball in people's faces or like being crazy. I don't know. But anyway, she labeled me as competitive, and that was a bad thing for sure. And she gave one other example that was interesting, and it had to do with my interactions with someone that I did find challenging, but again, I didn't think I was behaving in a competitive way. I thought we were exchanging information. So, whatever, that was her read on things, and it was a negative label. Something I really appreciated about my coaching with Dewey is that he named also as women being labeled competitive is a negative thing often. We're not allowed to be competitive. And so while I didn't resonate with that, I think the shame attached to it was very gendered as well. And so it reminded me of that particular instance and this friendship that ended up dissolving. And as we went along, I got to know this part better and really found that this part did not want to be left behind. It was afraid of being left behind. It was afraid of being thrown away. So this part of me was really tender, was really scared. And that is what was causing those feelings of feeling threatened and wanting to protect my place, my relationships. So, yeah, it was really tender, and it reminded me of times like the end of that friendship, and even to an extent, transitioning out of my previous, now 6 years ago, organization. And maybe the one after that too. These feelings of being thrown away or tossed aside. And I will say, not fully, whatever, but there's just like parts of it that feel like that without going into too much detail. I'm being a little careful what I share right now, even though I've said like I'm not hedging my words and I'm practicing not hedging my words, but I am being careful because I only got coaching on this 2 days ago, and I really believe in sharing from lessons learned and our healed and integrated parts, and not so much sharing from the wound. So my intention here is to share insight that I've gleaned in this process and what it's meant to me rather than all the gory details, especially because I'm just making more sense of it right now. And so the session was heavy, and I decided what I wanted to do after the session was take that part of me, the part that is afraid to be left behind and the part that is afraid to be thrown away. That's the same part, but to take that part of me on a walk. And then as I took the walk, I decided to record a voice memo which was just a love letter to, or a love note, a love memo to that part of me. So I'm going to share that with you now. I am sharing the original audio, so you're going to hear me walking down the street in my flip-flops. You're going to hear some vehicles, some birds. There are some pauses, but I like it. It adds a little texture to the podcast, and also it's real. It's just like exactly what came out as I was then tending to that part. And so I didn't intentionally say, oh, this is my wise self, but I think it's definitely my inner wise self speaking to that part. So here you go. This is a love letter to the part of me that is afraid of being left behind or thrown away. I will never leave you. I will never throw you away. You are exactly where you need to be. You are fully resourced and resourceful. There is enough for you. There is enough for us all. We are connected. You are safe. You are loved. You are appreciated. You are seen. You are accepted. You are worthy. It's okay to be seen and known. It's okay to be you, to be honest and authentic. You are enough. You have enough. How you feel is okay. It's rooted in experience. And you have so many more experiences than just that. Your truth is expansive. The truth of the matter is expansive. The truth of your life is expansive. The resources available to you are expansive. The connections available to you are infinite. You are secure. And again, you are safe and you are loved. Collaboration is safe. Recognizing the talents and contributions of others is safe. Recognizing your own contributions and talents is safe. You got this. I trust in your capacity to flourish. You are flourishing right now. Again, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. You can trust this, period. I have so much appreciation for that part of me that wants to keep me safe and thriving, flourishing. And I am so grateful that I've been able to develop my connection to my inner wise self over the years. So I'm really grateful for that practice, which I've shared in the past about writing love notes from my inner wise self, that I learned that from the artist and author Sark. And I'm so grateful that I have been able to receive coaching and go through a coaching program and learn more about parts work and working with these parts of myself, the internal family systems model. And this definitely is a vulnerable share, for sure. But I trust that it will be held with care. And I appreciate you listening and being part of my journey. So if you want to hear more of the Resourced and Resourceful Leadership podcast, please follow or subscribe to the show wherever you like to listen to or watch your podcasts. To support the show, please leave a 5-star review and share the show with a few people who you think would appreciate it. Definitely that word of mouth through social media or conversations. It's the number one way that people find podcasts. So please do share. And also, please check out the link to SpeakPipe in the show notes. I'd love it if you left me a message about what stood out to you from this show or topics you'd like me to cover in future episodes. I will just say, before I say the last line and cue the outro music, that there's a lot on my heart right now. And whether you're carrying some of the issues connected to the headlines of the day, or you are carrying things that are interpersonal or in your smaller scale world, like, they can still be big for you. And so I'm just sending love to you and to all of your parts. Thanks again, and take good care.